Hello and welcome to Tag Me, the podcast that doesn't care if the corp knows where we are. I'm here in my crash base. My name is Kevin. Joining me, wearing his plastic carapace, Alex.
Hey everybody.
Hi, Alex. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been 3 months.
It has been 3 months, and so I hope you're all still here listening to us and, patiently waiting for more Netrunner fun facts from the two of us, who sometimes don't make very good facts at all.
For those of you who were patiently waiting, all one of you, hi Mom.
Hi Mom.
Thank you for sticking around. Yeah, I was listening to Run Last Click this week or last week, and they listed us as MIA, so we are officially BIA, back.
Yeah, we are back in action. Here we go. So shout out to the Run Last Click guys. They can enjoy listening to our handsome East Coaster voice now.
Or they can listen to us. Whether they enjoy it or not is to be determined.
Oh, yeah, that you just reminded me of that. I need to open a beer.
Oh, okay, so Alex has just left. I'm staring at his ceiling. Oh, he's back.
I'm back. That's okay. I keep all my beer in the basement.
Oh, okay, yeah. So we're recording remotely, and Alex just saw me take a sip of my beer.
Pleasantly reminded me that I'm quite parched.
Well, talking will do that to you. Speaking of talking, actually no, speaking of playing, Alex, you had a little store championship yesterday.
Yeah, so we actually had 3 store championships here in Ottawa already, and I feel like we should have been podcasting throughout those, but sadly there were some holidays and some sickness between the two of us at the same time and separately that prevented us from doing so. So yeah, we've had 3 store championships. I only made it to 2 of them. And yesterday was the third one, which was actually the smallest attendance for all of them. It was only 12 people yesterday. I think we had somewhere around high 20s for the first one. I don't have the stats available for the second one.
Yeah, I was a little surprised when you said there were only 12. And
yeah, I think a lot of people just being maybe gamed out, store champs out, because we had them in quick succession. The last one was only 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and it actually it's the first one after Cypher, or Saphir has come out. And,
yeah,
I know a lot of people are butthurt over that.
Yeah, a little bit. Actually, we did have Cypher for the last store champs. It was released the Thursday before our last store champs, so it was a lot of scrambling, I think, for some people.
That would have been cause for butthurt.
Yeah, and I think a lot of things too was if you were on the Gatineau side, you could get the pack because it had arrived, but a lot of the Ottawa side of the river, the game stores didn't have them in. A couple of them did, but I know myself, I was not able to pick up the pack in time. So
yeah, so for those of you who don't know, Saphir is the new Anarch console, 5 cost, 2 MU. Once per turn, when encountering a piece of ice, you may lower your maximum hand size by 1 until the beginning of your next turn, and reduce that ice's strength to 0, which is pretty good. It seems like the cost to use it of lowering your hand size by 1, while it sucks, is actually pretty minimal in a lot of cases, especially if you're planning on breaking stuff with Faust, and you want you want big cards at the start of your hand, but you're probably gonna end your turn with few anyway. So a lot of people were saying the sky was falling, and this is wrecking the game. And while I think it's a powerful card and will be around for a long time, I don't think it's quite as bad as people make it out to be. I do wish it was in Shaper.
I feel like it should belong in Shaper, but I guess the ice destruction is an Anarch thing, and lowering and strengthening the ice manipulation tends to be an Anarch thing. I don't know. You probably I guess maybe it's flavored choice to put it in Anarch. but power-wise, it definitely should have gone into Shaper.
Well, no, it's just I wanted it to be in Shaper because it is a powerful card, and Shaper seems to be kind of on the bottom end right now of runners. Bottom end are like, 2 and 3 Criminal and Shaper very close to each other, and then there's a fairly large gap before Anarch.
I did okay yesterday. Better than my first one. I was thinking I was bottom of the barrel the first store championships. When I took Arena and Blue Sun, and managed
You're shuffling. I don't know what's going on there, but
I am shuffling.
You're making a lot of noise.
You're right. I'm restless. It's been a while since a podcast. I forgot how to stand still. This is my training. This is Kevin that yells at me while we podcast to keep me from moving about. And usually we do this often enough that I've learned to sit still. Being our hiatus, I've lost that ability. Sorry, Kevin. Can I say you got a fine beard going on right now?
Oh, thank you. I just had it trimmed.
Yes, it looks very sharp.
Mm-hmm.
It's excellent. Anyways, so yeah, first store championships, I took Blue Sun and Reyna, and which is interesting because the Reyna deck did better than everyone kind of said it would, but it was always like all the game wins were very tight and the game losses were just blown out of the water kind of thing. Yeah. Like it just, if it didn't get traction, I was done.
And Reyna's passe.
And it is. En Passant is amazing.
En Passant is awesome.
But that doesn't need to be in Reyna, obviously.
It just needs to be in a deck, yeah.
Because, ideally it was like, you use it for those chances that they didn't res. But can I just, it's better in Val because you just blackmail and then En Passant. Everything's better in Val right now. Or Wizard.
Or in Geist.
So, as of yesterday, because it was way more fun yesterday, Geist destroyed yesterday. I went 3-1.
A deck you had no practice with. I sent it to you at midnight the night before.
Yeah. Yeah, quite literally. It was like, here's my runners. I'm not happy with any of them. I'm not practiced the Val deck. It's strong, but I don't feel like playing Val. What else should I do? It's either Val or whatever you send me, Kevin. He sends me Geist. And I was like, well, okay, let's do it.
Yeah, the popular Geist build, the off-campus apartment build, was kind of killed with the NBN tag shenanigans, be it the switcheroo or the all-seeing eye or the...
Yeah, 24/7, anything. It was just tag and all-seeing eye, just...
and even hard-hitting news and, CTM really shook that deck up to make it not work.
Yeah.
But the card Aaron Marone, which... is a connection. He's
Aaron Marin?
Unique. What's that?
Aaron.
Aaron. Aaron Marone, which is how I will refer to him from now on. When I built it, I didn't think he was unique. I was like, this card's awesome. He's unique. That sucks. But was it a 3 cost? I believe. I'm just going off memory here. I think
no. He's only like 2.
Okay. Two cost connection.
2.
It says whenever an agenda is scored or stolen, place 2 power counters on Aaron Marone. Hosted power counter, remove 1 tag, and draw a card. This means that if they install Breaking News naked and then score it next turn, giving you those tags to either do boom or to do all-seeing eye or do anything you want to do with tags, you can immediately then pop those counters and get rid of the tags. To be able to remove tags as a paid ability window, without having to lose your forger, without having to do any of that, is just great.
It's fantastic.
And you get a card draw.
So what's interesting about that Geist deck was the only game I lost was the first game I played, and I got hard-hitting news to turn 2. That made it really tough because I had to. That was a huge tempo hit against a CTM deck.
What do you do when running first turn? God.
He left everything open.
He's beating you.
So I was like, well, I might as well check R&D. And the thing was, he didn't have hard-hitting news in his hand. I saw hard-hitting news off of R&D. So I was like, well, I guess we'll buckle down for 4 clicks of shutting tags.
That being aside, it has all of the things that you want to do with the current meta. It plays high link, it's not out of the possibility to have 5 link, which makes those CTM traces tough, and it just makes all of the traces a lot less profitable for the corp.
Yeah.
And also, you can win without running. Like it's spy camera.
Yeah, spy camera is just you just have that no run R&D lock, which came in very handy because it meant things like like any punishment that requires you to run, then which is everything out there. You just wait, sit and wait, and if they start scoring agendas, you like maybe they're overdrawing with Sensi or just Jackson drawing, then you just kind of wait till they start scoring, and then you can worry about their HQ. Just keep an eye on R&D with your spy cameras, which you draw 12 to 18 of them because you go through your deck three times, which works super smooth. The one thing I did find with the deck, it was a little slow, but with the Corp meta right now, there wasn't as much fast advance because I think a lot were afraid of kind of pressure Anarch runners.
Yeah, that's true. Also, if you find you'll find, like, I imagine you found that every time you played it, it kind of set up a little bit quicker. The more you play it, the better you are at just setting it up and still not even really keeping pressure on the Corp, keeping the illusion of pressure on the Corp.
Well, that's just it too, because what I've noticed is that a lot of people playing against it didn't really know what was possible. Anyways, yeah, tons of fun.
Yeah, that last pack was good, but I believe one of the things we want to do is talk about 2016.
Yeah, we do kind of want to go back in time. I know a lot of the other podcasts have done this already, but we've been away for a while, and we want to kind of go over what happened not only at the end of the year, but throughout it. So, Happy New Year and stuff, because that was like a month ago.
Not a full month yet, but close enough.
Two days.
So we're gonna talk about 2016, not cycles and whatever, but just any card that was released in 2016, and we're gonna do a little best in show. We're gonna start up. So the first category for our best in show was IDs,
identification cards.
Yeah, and 12 IDs were released. 12. I mean, that last pack had, that last cycle, I think, had one for every corp. They kind of re-released the core set IDs with different flavor.
Yeah, which turned out to be heavily weighted to the wrong sides.
The NBN one was good.
You don't say.
The Wayland one was okay. HB was good, but it's still not better than the core HB. And the Jinteki one never really got any traction.
Yeah, I found it was good. But I have gotten some full mill kills with it. But it is a lot harder to keep that consistent.
Yeah, I personally like Personal Evolution better. That being said,
I'm on the fence for sure.
Yeah, so Alex and I have not compared notes, so I'll just bring you mine first. My best in show in the ID category is Palana Foos. It's an ID I don't even play that much, but just the ability for Jinteki to have that kind of money and kind of bring out, especially now that they're getting big money ice. Think DNA Tracker, think that new one they just got in the last pack, the 12 res one. I think Glacier Jinteki might slowly become a thing. So, Palana Foods. Yeah, I think Palana is still a new style of playing Jinteki. I haven't really seen a lot of traditional Jinteki builds out of Palana. It's more, they're just still trying to feel it out. I've seen Grail Ice, I've seen Next Ice, I've seen a lot of stuff. And I think now that Jinteki is getting their own big ice, Palana might come into its own.
Yeah, now that they've got the money to afford the big ice, they're starting to produce some big pointy stuff that it kind of comes in, like you said, comes into their own. A little bit more House Bioroid-esque, where you've got clones and things instead of this Bioroids to poke at you. Nice. I agree. That was actually my best in show as well for the IDs, so I will pick something else. Why don't I pick Smoke? Because this was one of the most fun IDs I think that I've played all year, and I put a fair amount. It's probably one of the most played runners for my 2016.
Really?
With the exception of in terms of when it came out to how much I've played between the packs, because obviously it was one of the later packs.
Yeah, I'll give you that. We'll backdate the play time.
Yeah. So if you backdated, then Smoke is probably more played, and I didn't used to play much Shaper, so it was kind of nice to get into that suite of breakers and play around. So I really enjoyed that one. I think it was the most fun of the ideas that came out this year.
Cool. Yeah. Smoke's a lot of fun. Smoke came out at a time when stealth. What I'm trying to say is, I think the fact that Smoke came out at the time that stealth credits became so easily available at the same time kind of hurt her a little bit in terms of her popularity.
Yeah.
Had she come out and none of this stealth crap came out, like 2 years ago, had she come out, she would have been incredible because stealth credits were hard to come by. But now stealth credits are really easy to come by.
And not just that, I think that a lot of people had done the teching against stealth decks before her release.
Well, yeah, I mean,
for that same reason, I guess.
The way to beat stealth is to stack similar types, but mostly play ice with a lot of subroutines. And frankly, that's a good way to play against pretty much every ID except maybe Val, which doesn't really care.
Yeah, because Val's the never run blackmail, steal everything.
Yeah, oddly enough, my most run, I looked it up, my most used runner of 2016 was Kate.
That does not surprise me. I think if you went with most used entirely in 2016, it's probably go back to Ken.
Okay, cool.
Anyways, moving right along.
So that's
obviously CTM being like the overpowered one that's people would think they'd probably say like a best in show. But,
But we should point out our best in show is not necessarily the most powerful. That goes to CTM no matter what.
Yeah.
It's just we're picking it for whatever reason we want. We think it's cool. We think it's stupid. We think it's fun, or we think it's powerful. Whatever.
Yeah.
We're just highlighting one we like.
Exactly.
And the next category we were going to highlight from is the agenda category.
Agendas.
13 agendas released. And they were all pretty miserable, except for one, in my opinion.
And I'm gonna. I guess you went first and last one, so I'm gonna go.
All right, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Because I feel like this is gonna be your best in show too. So I chose corporate sales team.
Oh yeah, everyone chooses corporate sales team.
Yeah, and because I think it's the only agenda in here that I played.
I know. I'm thinking the same thing.
I did play improved protein source.
Oh, I did play that too, and you know what? It didn't really work out.
No, it was kind of bad.
Well, I was going to pick sales team, but another one I'll pick, and when it came out, it was good briefly, and that would be Merger. Merger was the 3/2 neutral that said Merger's worth 1 additional agenda point when it's in the runner score area, so kind of like the anti-global food. And I thought it was going to be good. It's going to open up way more fast advance because it's another 3/2. It's neutral. It fits in every faction. The cool thing, like I thought, all right, the punitive counter-strike, this really turns this on. Score it, or, you can hit them for 3. And then they rolled that punitive works on the printed agenda cost, not the actual agenda. So, which kind of sucks because it increases the power of global food and decreases the power of Merger, when I feel like it should have been the other way around. Food is powerful enough.
I 100% agree with you. I think that it would have been really cool to have that Merger card as a, especially with the way that corps are right now, the balance. I think leaving Merger as a potential to be a 3 for punitive would have been amazing for Wayland.
Yeah, but it doesn't see much play. I'm not seeing it in a lot of decks online. I don't think I've ever seen anyone but me play
what faction can't run a full suite of 3/2s?
Wayland and Jinteki.
Okay. Jinteki has 2 1s.
And NBN can't do it now either. Now that AstroScript is one of.
Oh, that's right too. Now that's
really
so
only
pretty close.
Really only HB has a full suite of 3/2s.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So why don't we move on to ice?
Ice. Okay, ice is next.
28 ice in this cycle. Some of them good.
Substantial amount of ice.
Some of them really good. Actually, you know what? I'll talk about the whole year of ice. It was a really cool year for ice.
Very cool, especially the last the last cycle.
Yeah, when Damon fully took over, I think he messed with the ice. And my pick for best in show is Fairchild 3.0, our first 3.0 Bioroid, triple click to break up to 3 subroutines. Like, it's really nothing like we've ever seen before. And of the Fairchilds, including the straight Fairchild, not any of the versions, I think 3.0 is the best. You can run 3 of them. They are incredibly shitty to hit. So, I don't know. For its coolness, for the fact that it's the first 3.0 Bioroid, for the fact that it was the third of 4 that they released in an entire cycle, I'm picking Fairchild 3.0.
Nice. That's a good choice, I think. I also like that they did do the 1, 2, 3 and the full release version. Kind of like, because up until then, it was just Wotan, right?
Yeah, Wotan, and there's another one, another unique piece of ice.
This.
Well, no, another. So like, there's only. Oh no! So Wotan, Orion, Susanoo Makoto, and
oh no, I meant with
Fairchild.
I meant just for Bioroids, but yeah. So like it was just Wotan.
Yeah, Wotan is the only Bioroid without a number behind it.
Anyways, I had a really hard time deciding on ice because I think all of the Jinteki ice released this year was quite a good change.
Oh yeah, they were.
So
great.
I'm gonna say DNA Tracker is my best in show with a quick runner up to Ike and Chrysalis because DNA Tracker was bananas.
Chrysalis I like,
but Chrysalis is amazing because it's got the on access, which we also saw in. I guess that was actually the end of last year. The year before was Archangel. Yeah. So Chrysalis is great, and Ike is kind of a replacement for like a pop. But yeah, DNA Tracker kind of blew the socks off of a lot of stuff for pointy, annoying tax ice.
DNA Tracker, unless you're on stealth, DNA Tracker ruins your day. It's just
you're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah, if you're on stealth, well, it doesn't really matter what ice you see,
or Cipher Parasite.
Mm-hmm.
Because what ice? There's only 2 ice in the game that are good against that.
Oh yeah, Lotus Field and Architect.
So Architect's not trashable. Lotus Field can't reduce the strength. So yeah, I packed the Lotus Fields this weekend.
Yeah,
which came in handy, very handy.
Well, you know what? Lotus Field is not a bad piece of ice, just in general. Let's 4 strength in the run. Not yoggable. So
all right. So yeah, ice. Good. It was a good year for ice. It was interesting. Poor Wayland, I think, got the boring end of the stick.
As they do.
This is the year of Vanilla and Cobra, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, Cobra, which I imagine Cobra being the most popular piece of ice out of the set.
Yeah, probably.
It fits in a lot of decks. It fills a very convenient slot. So, I mean, I get it. Why don't you read us into the asset category?
Assets. Oh man, again, so many crazy assets this year.
30 of them.
We had 30 assets. We had Museum of History, Mumba Temple, which completely overran the meta for the better part of the year. We had some boring stuff that nobody ever used, like Pad Factory. We had the political assets came out this year, so we got political dealings, and we had like the commercial bankers group, and what else was?
Yeah, Sensi and commercial are the 2 most popular.
100%. Sensi is like people res 2 of those and are drawing 9 cards a turn. Foolish speed for NBN, like they needed it. And Clone Suffrage Movement, I don't think I saw anybody playing it. Have you played it at all?
Yeah, I played Clone in CTM decks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could see that working.
Yeah, it's just great. Keep moving the hard-hitting news and the 24/7s and all that shit back in your hand. So
yeah, this is kind of like to help your Jackson, but with operations. Like, it's just one of those things where they know Jackson's gonna phase out.
Yeah, I mean, we got some really, really cool stuff in an era where Wizard is just running rampant, and it makes sense. We need those credits to trash all of these cool assets that.
Yeah, like Sandberg was another one. Sandberg was a nasty one.
I haven't seen a lot of Sandberg, but
come to Ottawa, you will have a bad time. My best in show, I'm gonna go with Bioethics Association.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I love this card. I just love Jinteki and killing things with net damage. Slow and painfully.
Bioethics Association made its debut in the Prison Lock deck, which almost destroyed Netrunner if you listen to some people.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess I didn't really play too much of that deck myself.
Yeah, I played that deck like twice. It's really good.
No Fun Runner?
Yeah, yeah. When I mean, I rebuilt it with Sand City Grid so I could score out because I just hate playing 40-minute games. Yeah, I mean, it's just when your turn begins doing that damage if there's no ice protecting the server. If you have a lot of assets, or if you have ways to make trashing these assets more expensive, or if when you do a damage you also kick a card off the stack, this is a good asset. I picked what I thought you were going to pick, which is Jeeves Model Boyroids.
Yeah, so, it was a tough choice between the two for me.
Yeah, Jeeves Model Boyroids, which is kind of a complex card. When you do the same action 3 times, gain a click. And that turned on a lot of messed up combos. Combos involving subliminal messaging, where you get to play an operation and gain your click back. So you play 2 more operations and you have 2 clicks left. Yeah, stuff like that, which was really, really cool. Jeeves Model Biroids is one of those assets that is must trash as soon as it's rezzed. It's must trash before it's rezzed, because it will wreck your day. If you can protect the Jeeves Model Biroids by whatever means that you would protect this asset, do so. You will likely win. It makes scoring 3 2s out of hand a joke. It makes scoring 4 2s out of hand fairly easy. In some cases, it makes scoring a 5-3 out of hand possible.
Yeah, actually, Biotic Labor, and then Jeeves, really annoying.
With lateral growth, which is just another option, an operation that lets you install an asset, and that's what made it more complicated. You had to really figure out how you were going to get those 3 of the same actions. But once you did get that down, you were set. Jeeves Model Biroids, my best in show.
Tons of fun.
Yeah. So if we move on to the upgrade category, the least represented category with only 10. And I think I'm going to pick the only good one, Alex. I'm going to pick Pricek.
You think that's the only good one?
I think it's the best one. Pricek, Pricek kind of silently, made it into my deck. I was like, oh, I'll try this out, and realized, oh crap, you know what, this is good. So Pricek is just if the runner accesses Pricek while it's installed, you may pay 2 to give the runner 1 tag and do 1 meat damage. And that seems minor, but when you put it on HQ or you put it on R&D, and you often leave the runner with a tag at the end of their turn because they had to run through a data raven, or when you don't expect to have that extra tag, it's really, really good, and then you can do all your tag shenanigans on your turn. And the meat damage is just a nice touch.
Just an added little bonus.
Well, if you can get 1 meat damage done ahead of time, that makes your scorching and booming jobs way easier.
So good. Mm-hmm. That's interesting to choose Pricek because I really felt like the heavily weighted to Mumbad Virtual Tour. So if you haven't put this in a deck, Kevin, you need to go play something with Mumbad Virtual Tour in it.
Oh, no, Mumbad Virtual Tour is awesome.
Yeah, like if you run into that, that is so bad. Like it sucks, especially because right now the biggest problem with runners tends to be wealth, is damaging. So you're running so much money, why not just make them pay 5 credits to trash it?
Yeah. No, it's good. It doesn't fit into every deck archetype.
No, because you do need to have 7 or more assets in your deck to use it as well. So,
well, there's certainly that, yeah. Or else you're paying 6 influence for 3 of them.
Yeah.
But it's just, some deck archetypes just, they don't work well with having installed upgrades. Okay, so I put this on archives so that one of the Temjin runs actually costs them money, and then they just trash it, and then they make that money back on the second Temjin run. It's good, but I don't think it quite does what Pricek does.
It's definitely a different archetype. I saw way more of the Mombat Virtual Tour this year.
All right, and the rest of the upgrades are junk.
Yeah, pretty much. Carry on.
I played a lot of Surratt City Grid. That's this janky thing that'll let you like res ice for free.
Yeah, that's right.
But the rest of them, they never really got played. I mean, I'm looking at Drone Screen. I'm looking at Manta Grid. Manta Grid could be good, but that doesn't really work because then they just trash it. No, I'm not big. Mumbad's City Grid was in here too.
So, should we just skip the operation category because there's a lot of bullshit operations this year?
There were 32 operations. This was the biggest category.
32 operations, and they changed everything. Hard-hitting news, exchange of information, Salem's hospitality, hatchet job. We got arc lockdown, friends in high places, lateral growth. Boom.
Yeah. Well, okay. Boom.
Like,
yeah.
where do we even start? Consulting visit. I don't know. I think my best in show is gonna have to be Boom. Because why not?
Tell us about Boom. I'm not familiar with this operation, Alex.
Oh well, let me tell you about the explosive devices that we have built in the distant future. That is Netrunner.
Aren't they like heat-seeking or self-guided bullets?
It's actually a wizard hunting device.
Yeah, we've got this idea. We're going to spend millions of dollars to build this weapon that can kill one person. It is like the blue shell for wizard.
That's right.
Yeah, I remember when this was spoiled long before 2016 even hit. I was like, man, what did Wizard ever do? Like, he's barely even playable. And then all of a sudden, Wizard became huge. I was like, oh, how did they know that was going to happen?
It's that whole, like, they're so far ahead of the meta than we are, so it's so funny.
But Boom is the 4-cost operation. It's a double. Do 7 meat damage. Boom also... Okay, 7 meat damage. That's a lot of meat damage. Boom also added something new. It's trashable. So if you access it from R&D or from HQ, you can trash it for 1 credit, which is pretty cool. I mean, most corps have a way to get that back, but, if you're running and you access 2 of them with HQ interface in their hand and trash them both, that kind of ruins the corps state. So they aren't like Scorched Earth. They aren't perfectly safe in hand. That being said, 7 is a friggin' lot of meat damage.
Yep, tons of meat damage, especially when your max hand size tends to be 5.
Yeah.
By default. So, yeah, no, I think it's pretty cool. Definitely recreated the Scorch Boom type of kills. It helped Whalen out for a day or 2.
Yeah.
And then it helped NBM out indefinitely.
Oh, yeah.
So that is Boom. It also is only 3 influence compared to Scorched Earth's 4, right?
Yeah, it's taking the place that Traffic Accident took in a lot of NBN decks, which is
yeah.
cool. So.
But I mean, it's kind of disappointing because we're probably not going to see any more traffic accidents ever again. Can you think of a situation where you're going to want traffic accidents as well?
If you're really tight on influence, but other than that, no. So my best operation was the one that just came out before the year ended, Friends in High Places. This is the terminal HB operation that lets you install up to 2 cards from archives paying all costs. This is just awesome. It's just like, oh my god, I just got rid of those Jeeves model Biroids and they're back. Or, okay, so he installed a Jeeves model Biroids and a clone suffrage movement from archives. I'm only going to have the money to trash 1. Do I get the suffrage movement so he can't do Friends in High Places again? Or do I get the Jeeves model Biroids, letting him get Friends in High Places again, which he will then install Jeeves next turn? Like, this card is awesome. It's going, and it's still fairly new, and I think people are still feeling it out, but this is going to create some crazy combos in HB.
Yeah, and honestly, it's only 1 influence, so I'm actually going to test it out tomorrow, tweaking my Polana deck. I'm throwing 2 of these in, because I'm doing a full Glacier, because right now, the meta, because we're not releasing this podcast before tomorrow, I'm going to say this aloud, is that nobody's carrying around any rumor mills. So I'm playing Caprice Batty Glacier Piranha.
Nice.
And I played it. Yesterday, and I didn't have friends in high places, so I'm going to switch that out, see how that works. But I didn't see a single rumor mill yesterday. They had to deal with my Caprice Nices. So
Yeah, that's the cool thing too, is it is one influence, so you could potentially fill up your deck with 3 Ashes, 3 Jeeves, and 3 Friends in High Places, and you get the free Jeeves, right? You pay heavy for Ash, but that really sets up your plan of just you're never gonna steal this agenda.
yeah, yeah, pretty good.
Oh, it's cool. It's cool. So Friends in High Places, my best in show in the operation category.
Yeah, and it's this was another thing that was introduced this year that our Canadian brethren out west, Terminal 7 is claiming they're named after them.
Oh, are they?
Yeah,
I just assumed so.
well, yeah, well, obviously.
Well, I
They
mean,
they just dropped the 7 for ease of printing.
an entire playstyle is named after our podcast, so
It's true. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
they could at least get a car.
East Coast wins again.
Yeah. No, that's the terminal operations are cool. What do we switch to the runner side?
Runner's side. Oh, baby. This is the most fun because everything's happening over on the runner side.
I don't know. A lot of crap happened on the Corv side.
That's true. A lot of crap happened. A lot of fun toys came out on the runner side. So let's start off with programs then.
Yeah, I was gonna split this up into non-icebreaker and icebreaker programs. Turns out there were only 4 non-icebreaker programs, so
Okay.
we're just gonna do straight up programs, and I'm going to pick one of the non-icebreaker programs. I'm gonna pick Reaver.
Ooh.
Reaver's the new Apex card that says, I believe it says the first time you trash an installed card each turn, draw a card.
Yep.
Which Apex does well because it likes to have face down cards, which they would trash with Chopbot. And, being able to refill your hand allows you to get rid of that endless hunger and replace it with Faust. It's turned on several new style of decks, and if this was not 4 influence, Haley would be a force to be reckoned with again. But it's 4 influence, so Haley's really not going to be playing 3 of these.
They have definitely seen that ahead of time. That was like, yeah, we need to have this as 4 influence.
Yeah. I think that makes it safe to print. If this was 2 influence, it would be unsafe to print. Noise would be going nuts. With all of their ace-hopping of viruses. Noise could be a thing again. Haley would be going nuts. But yeah, so, and a local guy, I got Netrunner DB Deck of the Week. Rob here printed that, or built that Apex deck that has been making the rounds. So, congratulations on Apex, Rob, and Reaver is my best in show.
It's cool. I like it. I'd like to see something that's actually going to bring Apex up a little bit, because when they were first spoiled, I was really excited about Apex, and it fell flat in a hurry. It was just really disappointing.
Yeah, play that deck of the week that Rob built. It's got a lot of moving pieces, but you just played Geist, so you're gonna be okay.
I'm gonna choose Mongoose, which I feel like is obvious.
No, Mongoose is awesome.
It's so good. Yeah. And I like that they did the whole Mongoose Cobra thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun, and we've talked about this so many times, and everybody's talked about this. But yeah, I still think Mongoose is still my favorite program that came out this year, even with the cool things that Paperclip and MK Ultra and Black Orchestra all did. Yeah, Mongoose. I just like Criminal.
Yeah, but I mean, so Criminal has always been the killer faction. They always had the best way to break sentries. But when you boil down to it, they really don't. Fairy's great, but you can only use it once.
Yeah.
Was it Alias?
Alias is great, but again, only on Centrals.
Yeah, and its numbers really aren't that hot. Fem is awesome, but Fem is not awesome at the same time.
Yeah, it's expensive, but it's only it's awesome for bypass. It's not awesome as a killer. That's the thing about Fem. It's better as a code gate breaker because toll booth.
Yeah. So they had Switchblade Stealth, the best stealth breaker probably. They had Shiv, which is break and enter, so that doesn't really get you a lot of repeated use. And then they had Garrote, which is expensive and uses all that MU. For a faction that has all of these, quote unquote best sentry breakers, they don't really have a general purpose one that has decent numbers.
No.
What was it, Aurora, or there was that one that came out in the core set, but
Ninja was in core set.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Aurora was the
Code Gate.
No, the barrier breaker.
Where's Aurora
Peacock
barrier?
was
Peacock was the.
Nevertheless, this one's cool. It has the limitation that you can break 1 sentry per run, but that's okay. If you stack double sentries, that's what you have fairy for. Anyway, yeah, I agree.
Double mongoose.
Yeah.
If you want.
Play the mongoose suite.
It worked amazing in Geist. 1 mongoose and any of the shivs.
Yeah, mongoose. I approve, Alex. Why don't you hit us with a hardware best in show?
Hardware. Okay, so I feel like this was a mix of kind of all fairly equal, cool hardware, and then a whole bunch of junk.
Okay, yeah, I'll buy that.
I mean, we're only at 12 pieces of hardware this year. So my best in show is probably Spy Camera.
Okay, that was mine as well. Spy Camera is deadly.
Especially having just played it yesterday and just remembering how much fun it is to just keep drawing cards and seeing the top of R&D and having the corp going, every time you go to make a run, because they're like, oh, now I know I have to do something about this.
Yeah. Spy Camera, of the consumer grade, or of the 6 of cards and decks, Spy Camera was definitely the best.
How messed up is the future if consumer grade stuff is spy gear?
Yeah, I know. So they also had the second ability. Look at the top X cards of your stack and arrange them in any order. X is the number of copies of Spy Camera installed. They might as well not have even printed that ability on it. I don't think I've used it once.
I used it the week it came out. Because I was just deliberately installing 6 of them.
Yeah.
And then waiting until some things happened, but I don't think I was running Levy at the time, so I wasn't drawing as fast. But now, no, I haven't used it since.
No, but what I'm saying is Spy Camera would be equally good if they just erased that off of it.
Yeah, 100%. Maybe we'll just take a Sharpie. I'll just mark it off.
Don't do that.
What about yours, Kevin?
Mine was going to be Spy Camera, but I'll pick the next card in the list, which is Sports Hopper.
Yeah. Who doesn't like race cars?
I know. I mean, so the 3 cost, it's pricey, and it gives you 1 link, which is always good, especially in today's meta.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the trash to draw 3 cars. A little bit of extra protection from various things when you need it. Also, it plays well in Faust decks, because if you're just like, holy crap, I can't beat that, well, I better trash my vehicle and draw some cards here.
Yeah, and draw 4 instead of 3.
Oh, 4 on a Geist, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Sorry, did I say I meant Faust, not Geist? Yeah,
Faust, yeah.
But yeah, so it's a multi-purpose kind of thing. It fits well. The link, if you just have it installed and never need to draw, that link really sucks. If you have 3 of them out, that's pricey to get 3 out. But if you have 3 of them out, that's 3 additional link, that shuts off a lot of traces that are pretty much automatic.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it shuts down in CTM entirely. And even honestly, I found that 2 link, just having either 1 Sports Hopper or a Forger out, a Forger.
Yeah.
Just so having 2 link was enough to deter CTM quite a bit, and with a Forger and a Sports Hopper installed, so you get 3 link. 1 credit is it's jokes.
All right, so I get to pick my best in show for resources, and so obviously I'm gonna pick Temujin Contract.
Seems good.
It was the card that made General Criminal great again. Criminal was so bad up until this card was released. They were so poor, couldn't get anything going, no cards. And then Temujin came out, and all of a sudden, this one job that all of these criminals started doing and making money, make Criminal great again. It made them a faction to be reckoned with.
Yeah, it took with a 1 card, but I mean, the slightly perhaps disappointing thing is that literally everybody imported it because it was so good. Maybe 3 influence would have been a better choice.
Well, I'm pretty sure that in a couple of months it will be 3 influence.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure this is going to make
this
the
is gonna make
MWL.
the MWL. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And
not...
you know what? And like a lot of cards on the MWL, criminals are still going to play it. This is worth 1 influence for criminal.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. So for my best in show, because everybody knows about the Timmy J.
Timmy J.
I'm gonna say the turning wheel.
Oh, I thought you were going
Because
to pick Guru.
no,
I didn't think you were going to pick that.
the turning wheel. So I would say like it might be slightly underrated in my opinion because I didn't see it a ton,
Okay.
but anytime I've played it, it has done so much work for me, and it's weird because it's not a card I'm jumping to slot in a deck, but if I have a spot and I need a little extra access, throw a turning wheel in, and it does work.
Yeah, so the turning wheel I thought was going to be way better than it actually is. I think the problem with turning wheel, it is slow.
It is slow.
It does do work, but you need a good lock, whether it be R&D and HQ lock.
But also, it needs to be a deck that runs, and
Yeah,
whether it be R&D or HQ, rather than like the Geist deck, it wouldn't work in because you're never running. But it needs to be like a prepaid style type of amount of running, where you're playing events to run. You're using Temujin, but you throw Temujin on HQ and R&D, and then you're using your dirty laundries and all that kind of stuff. I found it worked really great in Criminal because you can do inside jobs and stuff to get those extra, and it's just like a little bit of bonus that when you need to make that power move, you have those tokens ready to go.
where it really started to pay off is because the wording on it, or not the wording, it's just specifically how it works. The run does not have to be successful.
That's right.
So that Snitch or Avoir deck where it's just like, run Jack out, run Jack out, run Jack out, run Jack out. Okay, I just made 12 credits. This is another factor, right? It's just like, oh, I made 12 credits and I got 4 counters on this. And so maybe now when I do my actual run, I'm going to make a mega access.
Yeah, like I'm going to see your entire hand. Or I'm
going to
dig
like
super deep on your R&D.
dig 8 in R&D, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if the one neutral influence was necessary on this.
Yeah. You know what? Honestly, I think without the one influence, this would see a lot more play. Because it does provide that multi-access for places that don't have easy multi-access, which I guess everything does now anyways. You have medium, you have HQ interface, and you have R&D interface, and various other things you can do. I feel like this at 0 influence is better because it's only 2 cost, and you only need one of them to grow, and you're still going to be doing that work. Like HQ interface, R&D interface, they're kind of expensive to install. It's not.
Oh, yeah.
The thing is that most things that are going on right now is Anarch, and you have medium, and an R&D lock will always be better than an HQ lock.
In most cases, yes, yeah. All right, it's a good card. I have no doubt. I agree with your choice.
The turning wheel, and the wheel turns.
Why don't you pick out our last official category, which would be events?
Okay, I'm gonna pick the one that I think I've had the most fun with.
Okay.
And that's actually the very first one on the list is Run Amok.
Run Amok.
And it's probably one of the least played, not entirely least, but lower played cards of these. But yeah, Run Amok was probably one of the most fun I've had because it's always a surprise.
Well, Run Amok is a true mind game too. Like Run Amok is make a run. When the run ends, trash 1 piece of ice that was res during this run, and like it's a true mind game.
There was a lot of good events, though, I should say that initially, and I did play a lot of Deuces Wild, because that made my Ken deck just so much better, was running Deuces Wild with the prepaids. But so I'll give that an honorable mention, but Run Amok was just so much fun.
And it's so anarch. It is so anarch.
So anarch.
My pick will be current, and it's Freedom Through Equality. I've played this in a lot of decks.
You love this card so much.
Oh my god, I love this card.
And if there was one card I would change in your Geist deck yesterday, I would take this out.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, I love it because you're spying all the time. You're spying. and then you spy, you see the agenda, you pop down Freedom through Equality, and that agenda, which you will steal, is worth 1 more point.
I can get that. I just never had it in my hand.
Okay, well, that's your own problem.
It was. I had it in my hand. It was like early and no spy cameras, or it was late and no spy cameras. It was just when I had it, it was either balance between no money, had to overdraw and discard something, and everything else in my hand was better than spending 3 credits on it.
I love Freedom through Equality. I like it. I've played it actually quite a bit.
Every single deck you've sent me has this card in it.
It's good. Play it.
So,
Why? One of the things I like about it is it kind of offsets the global food nonsense, right?
It's certainly that definitely helps that global food nonsense,
which is pure nonsense.
Oh, so nonsense. The
yeah. So if there were actually quite a few currents in this cycle, corporate scandal, Freedom through Equality, system outage, another day, another paycheck, rumor mill, government investigations, interdiction. Like, this was current heavy, and I think without question rumor mill is the most popular and one of the strongest currents.
Yeah, I think so too.
Freedom through Equality, play it, change your life.
Change your life. As far as currents go, I think that employee strike is just still so heavy. It's so good.
Employee strike was 2015 though.
Yeah, I know. It's just so good that I can't see playing any other currents other than Rumor Mill right now. So Freedom through Equality. If I was to play that deck again, I would drop Freedom through Equality and put in a. I just said the word. Why does that happen?
Employee strike.
Employee strike.
Yeah. So I think like it was a good year. We saw a lot of new types of cards. We saw the consumer grade type of card. We saw the install from the archives, install from the heap breakers, the zombie breakers, as people are calling them. What other? We had the stealth apocalypse. We had the bird breakers.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's right.
What other new types of cards have we got? So we had the political terminal.
Lots of different subtypes.
Trashable operations.
Operations, yeah, that was a big change. Was there any new ice subtypes? I don't think we saw any ice subtypes. Nothing new. Just the Fairchild stuff. Yeah.
I think you're right. There were no new ice subtypes.
Yeah, we still stick with our AP Tracer Bioroid situations. But we do get to see that whole Fairchild growth from 1.0 to full release.
Well, yeah, Tracer definitely exploded. So Gingerbread became a thing. I
mean, did you actually play Gingerbread anywhere?
Yeah, I did, but it was in a Panchatantra deck, so it didn't.
Oh, okay, well that makes sense.
That doesn't really count.
Doesn't count. No. Still got our assets are still Legion, Ambush, and Alliance. Actually, Alliance was a new thing this year.
Yeah, so our Alliance and Political. So the Alliance is just new, crazy things that made all of the people who write deck building software angry. So it's just like, oh, if you do these things, this doesn't cost influence. Oh, those poor deck builders.
I stopped reading them. I do have them. I've got them in my little folder, so
just read them. It'll take you 3 minutes, and then don't, because you'll be sad. But looking forward, let's talk about this Netrunner legacy thing going on.
Oh yeah,
Terminal Directive.
Oh, I
cannot wait for that. Yeah, so Alex, you got a guy at work that you're gonna play this with, right?
Yeah, so I just onboarded. I assimilated 2 Magic players.
Well done. Getting a few Magic players to play Netrunner.
Yeah.
What are their thoughts? Why did they make the switch? Was it because it's such a complicated game, or just because you're fun to play with, or?
I'd like to say it's because I'm amazing, and I'm just so good at being around people. They just want more of it.
But what is it actually?
So one of the guys actually he approached me when he saw my decks sitting on my desk, and was like, I think I've bought this game and I just haven't played it yet because the rules were really hard to consume. And I was like, "What? That seems strange because I hear you talking about Magic all the time." So that's, and he's like, "Yeah, it's just kind of a little different." And I was like, "Okay, well, I could kind of get it through you in somewhat of Magic terms." And so we sat down and I brought in 2 core set only, single core decks, um, and yeah, just gonna play through super like hour and a half, coach through the whole thing. I sent them over like the 20-minute video with the tutorial and stuff.
Yep.
He didn't watch it. So he
You know what? That's fair. That's
yeah.
it's really not that helpful.
It's only helpful in like the minimalist way.
Right, but that's 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You could explain
In about 5.
that 20 minutes in like less than 2, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And I think that was probably a bit more like, I know you and I watched it when we first got into it, and I think that was a lot more hype as well.
Yeah.
That we really got excited for. So I think he was more interested in basically how to win the game. Like what's good, how do I do stuff, and how do I
Yep.
do all the rules, basically. It's like he wasn't super into the flavor, but then the other guy, he seemed really into the flavor, into the style and the art of the game. So we kind of had both situations, which I thought
Well,
was
I mean,
neat.
yeah, that's cool because the game definitely has both of those things. It has crazy complex rules,
Yeah.
and it has an insane amount of flavor. It doesn't quite have the flavor that Magic has, but it also doesn't quite have the team Magic has behind it.
Well, I think, I'd say the depth of the flavor is more subtle in Netrunner. Like it's there. It's definitely there because you see it with the flavor text and the hinting at this, that, and the other thing. But Magic is so much older too, right? So there's this whole history of a lot of things too, and there's so many varieties too of Magic now. Like not proper, but I mean you have like those goofy game styles where they say like
they're
like
not
parody
really
cards.
goofy. Like people live and die playing Commander or playing
Oh
Legacy
yeah, like
or
yeah.
playing. So are both of them in or just one or?
Yeah, so so the first guy already had a core set, and he just recently ordered 8 data packs and creation control, which I guess just came in.
Nice. Anyway, so yeah, you're gonna get one of these 2 guys in on your Terminal Directive campaign.
Yeah, so what I was thinking of is because they're both new, I might actually get them both to play. So basically, I'll do like one set, whichever side I pick, because from what I understand, you pick either the corp or the runner, and you gotta stick with it.
I really don't know much about it, so
I don't know yet either. I haven't really read too much in the spoilers, but if that's the way it is, then what I'll do is I'll get like them to play one side, whether it be the runner or the corp, and then they can just alternate back and forth. Yeah, I think that would be cool because then they both get some drinking into it, and
I'm looking forward to playing this. So
I'm super excited.
Yeah, and it's a ton of new cards all at once, which is awesome.
What's your strategy right now for avoiding like spoilers? Are you going to play the Terminal Directive? Are you going to play with someone?
Yeah, I'm not. As far as I'm aware of, I don't think spoilers is a big deal. You can look at the cards, and not really care. I don't know. Like if it's one of those things where I have to play 8 games before I see all the cards, I'm probably gonna spoil the cards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I mean I want to build decks to play.
Well, that's what I'm concerned of. Is like, is it going to be the type that I need to get through this game like as fast as humanly possible so I can take the cards out?
That being said, I don't know if you've ever played a Legacy game.
I haven't. No.
That kind of just happens.
Yeah.
I know with Pandemic, it's just like, yeah, if it wasn't for sleep. Actually, one of the guys in our Netrunner group here played through the entire campaign in one day. Just 24 straight games, 16 hours, didn't sleep.
Wow. Well, welcome back, Kevin. It's so happy to podcast with you again.
It's so happy, or you're so happy?
What did I say?
It's so happy.
I'm so happy to podcast with you again.
Thank you. I'm quite pleased to do that as well.
My brain does not work unless I'm writing code right now.
Yeah, no, it's been great. It kind of sucked that it took as long as it did, but stuff happens. Netrunner continued to happen, and Netrunner is still good. I think the game is in good shape. I don't think Saphir, has destroyed
Cypher.
the game.
Let's just butcher it. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, we've already come up with AA Aaron Moran.
Aaron Maroon. Aaron Maroon.
Um, yeah, I don't think that's destroyed the game. I think the game's going to be okay. Yeah, so for guys like you and I and a lot of the listeners, the game is great. I think the biggest problem right now is the new player problem, which is it's fucking daunting to get into this game. They kind of started down the right path, in my opinion, with the World Championship decks. You know, just releasing decks that you can buy and play, and then as soon as they came out, they were already illegal.
Yeah, that was the difficult thing too, because I pre-ordered the decks, and I kind of wanted to do the thing where I just kept them sleeved, like I just sleeve the World Champs decks, have those at the ready for teaching whatever if I wanted to play a different deck,
Yeah.
because there's all the cards just there, and then yeah,
Well,
immediately illegal. So
also they were bad decks for teaching.
well, yeah, not for like I don't mean like initial game teaching.
Yeah.
I mean like teaching after they get deep into
Yeah.
it.
No, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I think if they do something like that, maybe not the World Championship deck, but maybe, just come out with like dueling decks like Magic does. These are tournament legal cards. You can just go up. You could show up at the store and be like, oh, fuck, I don't have any cards. Oh, well, here, drop $35. Here are these 2 decks of cards. Tournament legal. And then, hey, you like the game, or, you've played the game before, you're never really sure, you really love the tournament scene. Now you've got a starting point, and then you can start buying some data packs. Maybe buy one of the deluxe expansions or something like that. But I think if they release cards like that, it could really make a difference. Another thing people have talked about is boosters of alt arts. You buy booster packets.
Boosters of alt arts would be kind of neat.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah,
just like
but-
there are 3, and FFG can really fucking milk the system here. There are 3 rarities of alt arts. There's a common alt art, an uncommon, and a rare. Like there are people who are going to want to play 3 rare Project Atlases or whatever.
To be fair, I will totally buy the occasion. I will buy some booster packs of potentially rare cards.
Yeah, that could turn on drafting in a way that the way that Netrunner did drafting never did. But it could also say, like, hey, all right, I've got this dueling deck. Why don't I just spend $10, buy, 30 additional cards at random? Let's have a look at them. Oh, this card could go into that deck. And then as soon as you get people thinking like that, they're hooked. And then you just get on the subscription plan and...
Yeah, because the greatest thing is, like, once you're hooked, it's fairly cheap in comparison to a lot of like an actual collectible card game. So if you had the collectible aspect in a sense, but still could just literally just go out and buy 3 of whatever you wanted.
Oh yeah, so like maybe it might turn on the singles market. You're meaning? Yeah. That's a good point too. Right now, it's actually about twice as expensive to get into Netrunner as it is to get in Magic from scratch. As an ongoing thing, it's way cheaper. But
Yeah.
But I think the game's in good shape. I imagine we'll be playing... Well, I imagine Netrunner will certainly last a year. I imagine it'll last several years. FFG, now with the backing of Asmodee, has a lot of chips on the table, so...
Yeah, gonna be a great day going forward. This was us. This was Northern Gaming Network's Tag Me podcast. BIA. Back in action. Sorry that we missed you guys for so long. We can do these again soon and not be sick and holidayed out.
Yeah, you can find us on Twitter, online, northerngamingnetwork.com. Twitter's
At North Gaming Net.
You're at Harvalev. I'm at KJNCL. You can follow either of us. I don't know if you'll get a lot of Netrunner stuff.
I post a lot of Instagram Netrunner pictures.
Oh
Yeah. So lots of that. It's not too active on Twitter itself, but if you ping me or something, by all means ping me, I'll respond pretty quickly.
Yeah, if you're in the Ottawa area, you can find Alex on Tinder.
If you're in the Ottawa area, of course, you probably know by now where we meet up. If you don't, we're at the Foolish Chicken. It is a good time.
I thought you were at Pints and Courts.
So we're at Foolish Chicken now, Monday nights.
Oh, jeez.
Yep. Excellent beer, a little closer to home for me.
Good.
And yeah. Good times.
Excellent. Yeah, if you're in the Fredericton area, metagames on Thursdays. Come on out and we'll try to make fun of all the Commander players. With their giant 100 card decks. God, that's a stupid format.
Yeah, I guess if you're visiting those areas too, like, yeah, if you're visiting Ottawa, obviously. Yeah. Foolish Chicken, Mondays from 5:30 till 9.
Cool. All right.
Till next time, I'm Alex.
I'm Kevin.
Stay frosty.